Welcome to this cool, crisp Sunday afternoon. Hopefully, your week has started off pretty good. Welcome to all the new listeners and all of my day ones, as well as welcome to the new year. Now, speaking of the new year, I want to encourage every one of you, everyone around the world. This is a new year. Despite the old saying, New Year, New You, we're not going to do that one. It's not about being a new person. It is about bettering ourselves and those around us, as well as uplifting and making some positive changes. So instead of saying New Year, New You, we'll say New Year, New Opportunities and New Chances. I think that sounds a little more reasonable, don't you? Now, if you're new, thank you for being here and taking the time. Everyone needs a little uplifting here and there. The world is going through a lot, and even going into 2021, we're still going through. So I would like to tell you all that this show right here is going to be on faith, hope, humbleness, patience, peace, as well as persistence. Definitely strength. We can't leave that one out because we all need that. Those things for some are hard to come by, and for others they are just learning, or some have mastered it. And kudos to you who have mastered it. Now let's share that. As I said before, we are going through quite a bit. So we need to be able to remain level-headed as well as humble, and be able to stand on that faith that everything is going to work itself out, as well as have hope that we can be persistent and endure. Now, it's not going to be easy. Life isn't meant to be easy. We would like for it to be, but it is not. And just because we may feel like it should be going much smoother doesn't mean it will. There will be some turbulence as well as some disappointment. There's definitely always room for shockers. And that's those moments that you get blindsided by things that you did not see coming. And some things in life we really cannot prepare for. So it takes a lot of persistence and strength to endure those things. Now, everyone around the world is going through some similar things as well as different things. Whether it's the loss of job, loss of family, financial, family matters, issues, whatever it may be, know in your heart and in your mind, and you have to believe this, that everything will be okay. And yes, it's going to take some effort on our part. And that may not be easy, but it is doable. We have to put in that effort to be able to do it. And we have to be patient with ourselves as well as those around us, because everyone's on a different level. And being that it is that way, we have to kind of remain humble and try not to be frustrated with those who seem to not understand, or even if there's not an agreement, we can't come together and agree on everything. That's fine too. Everyone has their own opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at some point, we do have to come together and meet in the middle, even if it's only just to say, okay, look, let's agree to disagree. That way we can try and make it better for the children that are growing up under us. Our children, our children's children, and so forth. We can't necessarily pave a smooth way for them, but we can show them how to cope, how to deal with things, and how to approach situations in a manner that is healthy. And no, it's not going to be perfect. There will be some mistakes, but we can get over those things. And a lot of it is pretty much how we see things. And it depends on the individual person, how they see it, how they decide to interpret what they hear, see, as well as believe. Even with what just happened with the Capitol, we see the mistakes, we see privilege, we see all different directions of how that situation came about. So now what do? We've seen, we've heard, we all have our views on it, and everyone does not feel the same way about it. The mistakes that were made in that situation, we hope to not make that again. So let's learn from that. There's a saying that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. What happens in the dark will come to the light. Well, in the Capitol situation, it's been shown under the light. Now that it has been shown under the light, those who are in the positions to rectify the situation can now step up to the plate and correct those malfunctions or issues or slip-ups or whatever you would like to call it. And I want people to know that in that situation, try not to take it completely personal into heart. Yes, it was disturbing. Yes, we saw a difference. But we won't act on it in a negative way. For the simple fact that our point has been proven. Those who see the difference, who felt the difference, and knew there was a difference in the way people have been treated, our point has been proven for us. So let's remain humble in that. And as I stated before, let's teach our children the right way to go about those things, even in our responses to things, because eventually things come to the light, and it's how we react to those things that really make a big difference. So that's really where the patience and the persistence comes in, as well as the strength, because it's not one of those situations where you want to jump up and go, I told you so, I told you so. Now, we are still in the midst of the pandemic, and unfortunately, there has been a new strain to come out, and it has hit the U.S. Now, in that matter, let's continue to protect ourselves as well as our families. And let's use some wisdom when it comes to that, so that we may live another year to be able to uplift the world and love each other. And I know it's been rough. It's been very rough not being able to do the things that we normally would be able to do, like visit for the holidays and things of that nature, have barbecues and fish fries and baby showers and parties, and for some visit, movie theaters and things of that nature. But let's use our wisdom on that and be patient, and let's try and wait it out, because as usual, our children are watching, and they tend to do what we do versus what we say. So we gotta be an example for them and be strong for them, as well as be some good leaders in that situation and find alternative ways to socialize while being safe. Although it may be frustrating and very aggravating at sometimes for you not to be able to visit, let's use a little wisdom in that category and be patient. That way we can live another year to be able to visit when the time is right. So how do we stay humble, happy, hopeful, faithful, and persistent during these rough days? We can pray. You can find outlets like writing, conversate on the phone or Skype or Zoom, FaceTime. We can use this time to learn, to polish up our skills, even our coping skills. Because as long as we are alive, we are always learning. Because believe it or not, no matter what age you are, you never stop learning. And if anyone says that they know it all, they do not. They do not. And if we stop learning, then we're dead already. I'm just being honest. So let's not go that route. Let's continue to uplift each other. Affirmations are a great way to keep your head up, to keep away depression, anxiety, and things of that nature. And I've said before, you are stronger than you believe. And if there are any moments to where you feel like you are not, take a moment for yourself to kind of regroup, to self-reflect, and find that strength. It doesn't matter how many times you have to re-find it, but as long as you find it. Because you are stronger than you believe. And in that moment of self-reflection, remember that our values, beliefs, past experiences, goals, and sense of effectiveness as a person all influence how we think and behave. And because it does, it determines how we are viewed by self as well as those around us. And how we think about ourselves and how we fit into the world has a very large impact on how effective we are in our various roles that we play in life. Every person tends to wear quite a few hats, whether you're an employer or employee, just as a person, a friend, a partner, a parent. The way we think also has a profound impact on our well-being. That's our mental and spiritual. And on the way, our work translates as well into outcomes. So if we're all upset and we're all discombobulated, we're not going to be able to be as successful as we would like to be in those many hats that we wear. So during that moment of self-reflection, ask yourself, does what I imagine I can do, can I? Yes, you can. You can, and you will. It may take a little time, and that's fine. It takes persistence as well as the patience, but you will. You can accomplish anything you truly set your heart and mind to. When we put that effort in, you can accomplish anything. And the only one who can stop us is ourselves. So when we stop and take a breath and we self-reflect and we realize that we are stronger than we believe, we can do unbelievable things for ourselves, our families, as well as our communities, which helps people around the world. Inspiration is a big key in this. If we remain inspired to do better in whatever area we seek, we can inspire the world to do better. And keep in mind, what you say to yourself is what you live, stand, and project. And what we've been seeing happening in the world, it's a projection of what's been, either taught, seen, and if we say to ourselves that color matters, it matters. If we say to ourselves we can't do something, we can't. If we say to ourselves that we hate anything or anyone, then we will. And it's easy at that point to project that negativity. And that's not inspiration. So what we say to ourselves is what we live, stand, and project. So let it be positive and empowering. It's been time for change in a lot of areas. It's not going to be easy, but it is doable. And if you tell yourself, I can change anything in my life that I choose to change, I can take complete responsibility for my life. Just in that affirmation right there can come change. And it's positive and healthy change. That change can be anything. It could be a healthier diet. It could be healthy relationships. It could be healthy work habits. It could be a healthy reaction, coping skills. It could be anything. Now, here's another affirmation I would like to share with you all. And it's kind of a powerful one. I visualize what I want to be and act as if I'm already what I visualize. And that kind of goes along with that, being able to speak to a mountain and it moves. Now, that comes from the Bible. If you visualize what you want to be and you do act as if you're already what you visualize, you can speak it into existence. Our words are powerful. Our minds are powerful. So if I say I am an author, I see myself being an author, and act as if I am, that means I'm sitting down and I'm writing, I'm researching, I'm developing my skills. I am acting as if I'm already what I visualize, which would be an author. And before I know it, a book is complete and it is being published. Now, the next one, I am now confident and assertive. And there's a lot that can interfere with that. Especially when we take things in and we can't, or we have a hard time sorting through those feelings or those thoughts. It can disrupt that confidence as well as the assertiveness. If we get down and out about what takes place in our lives, it will break that confidence. So how do we get that back? We take the time, we sit down, you take a moment for yourself. Clear your mind, clear your heart. And get rid of those like negative feelings, emotions, because they're blockages. And have faith within yourself that you are competent as well as confident. And that assertiveness will return. And hopefully to stay. Because there's a lot in the world that needs to be done, said, accomplished, that you could be the one to do it. Which could save lives, communities, and so forth. So speak life into yourself and those around you. There's a saying, trouble doesn't last always. That is a very true saying. One way or the other, things will work themselves out. It's the being patient that kind of gets a lot of us. During a time where we should be being patient, we kind of get down and out. Let's not do that one. Let's keep our heads up, our hearts light, and know that things will be fine. And every step that we make toward a better life for ourselves, our families, as well as our communities, is a step forward. And in the end, you will be bold and courageous. And at that point, you'll begin to seize your opportunities. You won't let any pass you by. And when you do that, there's growth there. And when there's growth, joy tends to come right along with that. It's the satisfaction of accomplishing something. And know that every day, in every way, you are getting better. Now stand on that. Tell someone today and every day that you love them, you cherish them, and that they're needed. And you are as well. Love yourself like there's no one else to love. And that love will be so strong that it will overflow and everyone around you will feel that love. And don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to love. Love yourself. Love your family. And you will project that to the world. So let's put that out there in the atmosphere. Let's put out love in the atmosphere and let it comfort those around the world that desperately need it. Not only that, when we look at life, when it looks bad, it's not as bad as it seems. Just look around and notice everyone around you. Someone usually is doing a little worse than you are. So take that moment to uplift them, and in return, it will make you feel better. It will give you that hope. Because sometimes just taking the focus off of ourselves can be an uplifter. And it can kind of help us from getting depressed and down and out. So love the world, love everyone, and that love will come back to you. And know that you are strong, you are persistent, so have faith. You are enough. And you have every possibility to do great things. And in the end, you will be filled with unspeakable joy. It is never too late to be what you might have been. And too many of us never realize our full potential because of our fears, which blocks us. So what you say to yourself is what you live, stand on, and project. So let it be positive and empowering. You guys are amazing. Let the world see that. Know that for yourselves. And spread love and joy. Because you are stronger than you believe. And don't let anything stop you. Not even the things that are going on in the world. Help others in need. And you will see your life be truly and utterly blessed. I love you, God love you, and guess what? There's nothing you can do about it. You have been listening to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station, bringing you Inspire Our Podcast. Know that you are loved, cherished, and needed. So keep your head up and your heart light. Until next time, have a blessed and productive week. I have been your host, Tony Williams. Looking for more inspiration? Inspire Our Podcast is available on most podcast sites, apps, as well as on Facebook. We can also be found on YouTube, the name